Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to all the audience. Okay, so for today, um, my group will presenting about our case study, our review of case study for ergonomic risk factor (ERF) and their association with musculoskeletal disorder (MSD) among Malaysian construction trade workers, concreters. So my name is Muhammad Alif Hakimi bin Arzaha, AD180151, and I'll be leading this presentation first. Okay, so before that, pardon for not being able to turn on my camera due to some technical issue that I'm experiencing right now. Okay, so let's start off with the group members. So our group members consist of 5 people. So the first one is Muhammad Luqman Hakim bin Suhimi. Second one is Muhammad Faizal bin Shajahan. Third one is myself, Muhammad Alif Hakimi bin Nur Azhar. Fourth one is Muhammad Fikri bin Madrasa, and the last one is Muhammad Izani bin Bajuri. So all 5 of us work together to perform this task. Okay, so let's start off with the first part, which is introduction. Okay, so for construction industry, it is an industry which is one of the most complex and unique that is available. It has its own qualities that make it unique from other industries. Such example for construction industry is building construction, which includes public works, dams, bridges, highways, railways, water or wastewater, and utility distribution. So in this review, we will talk about the work scope of the workers, the hazards exposure from the work, and also the method of prevention itself. Okay, so as you can see, this is the phase of ergonomic risk factor. So this is a simple flowchart to get you an understand of how you will get the ergonomic risk factors. Okay, so the first one is work scope. So this is the start of the work. So getting the work need to be done at the workplace. So that is the work scope. So for this phase, we will take example of load and unloading the construction material. Okay. So the second phase is about endurance. So when working, you need to have great stamina and also great endurance to um, endure the work that you are having. So heavy workload requires strong body endurance and also the right technique to do the work. Okay, the third one is the symptoms. Symptoms come when you have endurance issue. When you are working for for a long period, your body parts involved will start to ache, and you eventually will start to experiencing pain. Therefore, you need to have a great body endurance, and also you need to learn how to actually manage your rest and also manage your stamina. Or you might well went to the next phase, which is injuries without a concern. The small pain that you're experiencing on the symptom phase will eventually become injuries, and if not treated very carefully, it will might cause a serious pain such as slip disc, or you might get a fracture in your bone, and some of other injuries that are related to musculoskeletal disorder. So the ways to tackle is by ergonomics. Ergonomics is changing the way of your work style that can be more efficient and also giving more endurance when you are working. Okay, so what is ergonomics? Basically, ergonomics is the interaction among humans and other elements of a system. For that means it's apply theory, principles, data, and method to optimize human system performance when working. That is a general terms of ergonomics. So in workplace terms, ergonomics is a study of people in their working environment. How do people react and adapt in their working environment and surroundings? So you might wondering who will be uh, the one that designed the economic system. So a person that we call an ergonomist will be designing or modifying the work system to fit the worker and making the worker feel more endure and can withstand a long period of um, the work itself. So what is the goal of achieving ergonomics actually? So the goals of achieving ergonomics is to try the best to eliminate discomfort and any risk of injury due to work. Like I told before, you might get a slip disc, you might get a bone fracture, or uh, maybe you can get some related nerve injury, and it is not a good thing to hear from a doctor when it is about work. Okay, so there is three types of ergonomics that is well known. So the first one is physical, cognitive, and organizational. So physical is basically your work style. It's basically connected with your work style and also your body part. So cognitive is actually the work system that is applied and implement at the workplace, and organizational is actually the worker worker that surrounded you. So that is organizational ergonomics. So I think that's all for me. For my part, we'll be moving on to the next part. Thank you.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Muhammad Mahakim bin Suhimi, AD1000702. So today I will be presenting the literature review and the methodology for our group. So for chapter 2, literature review, firstly, we define the meaning of ergonomics. So by referring to International Ergonomic Association 2015, ergonomic can be defined as the scientific discipline concerned with the understanding of interaction among humans and other elements of a system, and the profession that applies the theory, principle, data, and methods to design to optimize human well-being and overall system performance. So this word ergonomic is derived from the Greek word ergon and nomos, which is meaning the work labor, or and the nomos is health and natural law. According to Japan Ergonomic Society, when uh, Jastrobowski worked in the Polish, which is work in Polish, was reissued in English. It became generally recognized that the word economics was created by this Wojciech Jastrabowski in 1957. So, according to the North Carolina University, economic can also be loosely described as the study of people in their working environment to decrease pain and the risk of damage caused by labor by analyzing their workstation. And by the study of T et al. In 2017, ergonomic is also is the study of the relationship between the workers and the working environment. So moving on to the definition of risk factor. So risk factor or ergonomic hazards can be described as the physical pressure and working situation that put worker musculoskeletal system at risk or sickness. So, according to the OSHA Academy, course 711 study guide, which is introduction of ergonomics in 2020, lifting heavy goods, bending, reaching upward, pushing, dragging large loads, working in uncomfortable bodily position, and doing the same repetitive stimulus studies are all risk factor for the workers in variety sector and vocations. So, according to the Kamal et al. In 2017, when the risk variable are combined and applied to the workers over a long period, the result is injury, discomfort, and disability. An unergonomic work posture is a set of ergonomic risks that rate faster that might interact with skeletal muscle and resulting in tiredness and pain body areas, according to Octaviana in 2016. And according to Mittal et al. In 2017, handling heavy loads, task repetition, extreme back posture such as twisting, bending, stretching, and reaching, and static posture, whole body vibration, prolonged sitting, direct trauma to the back, which is striking or back being struck by an object, slip, trips, fall, and work-related stress are all common workplace risk factor for lower back pain. And then moving on to the definition of musculoskeletal disorder, which is the musculoskeletal disorder is the an illness, injuries induced or worsened by workplace exposure to ergonomic risk hazard or factors. This damage to the upper extremity, back, and lower extremity, including tendons, tendon sheaths, synovial lubrication of tendon sheaths, bone, muscle, and nerve and ligament. So those musculoskeletal also disorder to the peripheral nervous and neuroskeletal disorder. So below are the example of the illness caused by MSDs, such as tendi tendinitis, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, rotator cuff injuries, epicondylitis, trigger finger, muscle strain, and lower back injuries. So as we can see in the picture, and then the table, symptom of MSD is the pain, numbness, and tingling, reducing the worker productivity, lost time from work, temporarily or permanent disability, inability to perform job or task, and increase in work compensation and cost. So that's all for the literature review. Moving on to the chapter 3, which is methodology. So for the methodology, this is fairly simple. As we can see in the figure. So firstly, we select in our methodology we select the journal, which is in this case the case study that we have selected is the ergonomic risk factor and their association with musculoskeletal disorder among Malaysian construction trade worker, which is concreters. So and then we identify the problem. We can see from the study of the journals, and then we conduct a comprehensive literature review using a online database, such as the Perpustakaan Tunku Tun Aminah online database eProxy, and then we also use the Google Scholar and also use the ResearchGate. And then after conducting the literature review, we then propose a suitable solution based on our syllabus of industrial engineering BDA40703, and finally we conclude the result of the study. So I think that's all for me, and then be continued by my friends. Thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Izani Bajuri, and today I would like to present about technology product design, and we have trowel handle design. This is the figure for trowel handle design, and in the ergonomical design trowel, the contact area is more than the standard trowel. There no single point of pressure on the pump, implying that the pressure is evenly distributed throughout the pump. So force required by the muscle to grip a trowel handle will be minimum, and we can reduce the chance of muscle fatigue. Next we have NHS, stand for normalized handle size, which we can determine the measuring length of the hand at the ring finger, and NHS is calculated using key anthropometric hand dimension related to the grasping handle size. So we calculate from our ring finger to our palm. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day, Dr. Nasrul. My name is Muhammad Fikri bin Madrasa. Today I will talk about result and analysis for this study. The ergonomic solution occur in construction site. First is correct bending down to lift object. When bending down to lift an object, bend and straighten with the units instead of your needs. Next is for a head model. It is to control the moment created by hand force and the weight of the head, arm, and torso. Back muscle must produce moment of force. Next is a lifting machine. Using lifting machine to remove the cement bag from the storage area to the concrete mixing area, it can reduce the amount of time needed to spend bending forward and downwards while lifting the scaffolding. Okay, next is protective coating So uh, first you first protective clothing is a must. Uh, because when mixing concrete, the dry mix rise into the air, causing a lot of dust. So be sure to wear a safety mask to protect nose and mouth. Next is a glove, steady, long-lasting, and alkali-resistant glove will shield the skin from rash and burn. Next is a long sleeve because wet concrete should not come into the contact with bare skin. Uh, Long sleeve should be worn. Next is strong work boots. This should be excellent quality of boots. And last is a full length sweat. Full length sweat, the taut and thicker the material is better because it protect your leg from wet concrete. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Faizal bin Shah Jahan from Group 3 from Session 7. Okay, I'm gonna explain about the discussion and conclusion. Okay, for the discussion, this is about the construction related tasks are inextricably linked to the ergonomic dangers, such as shifting the sand, lifting the cement, mixing concrete, movable concrete to the wood side, also the pouring concrete, leveling concrete, and curing the concrete. Okay, the uncontrollable ergonomic risk factor might result in a muscular damage. Okay, prevention and control procedure entitle a structured relationship between the workers and the construction task, tool, equipment, and surrounding must be needed. Okay, and adjusting the work, like example, adjusting the work height using scaffolding, transporting the cement bag with a lifting equipment, and so on is helpful to prevent this kind of ergonomic damage. Okay, the next part will be the conclusion. For the conclusion, some action or tasks of concreter that have an impact on the bodies of muscular pain and are impacted by ergonomic risk factors. Okay, such as like the movement or repetition, awkward posture, servo extrication, vibration, and contact stress all contribute to this condition. A prevention method needed to be taken to avoid these injuries to occur. Thank you.